Here on Simone, we are unpacking some of the key races of Decision 2024 in a series that we're calling On the Ballot. Today, we are focusing on Tennessee and Democratic State Representative Gloria Johnson, who just announced her campaign for the United States Senate. You may remember her as one of the Tennessee Three, the state representatives who faced an expulsion vote in the Tennessee House after advocating for gun safety reform on the floor. Representative Johnson was the only member not expelled by a vote of her colleagues. And here's what she told me in an exclusive interview the day after that vote. Why do you believe you were not expelled on Thursday?
Because of the color of my skin.
So then would you say that the Republican members of the Tennessee State Legislature are racist?
Well, I would say that I was sitting in Criminal Justice Committee discussing a bill where we were, they would like to add the firing squad and the electric chair to the methods for capital punishment. And one of the members said, I think we need to add hanging by a tree.
So will Representative Johnson be the first Democrat elected to the United States Senate from Tennessee in more than 30 years? Well, let's ask her. State Representative Gloria Johnson joins me now. Welcome to you. It's good to see you. Let's talk about some of what your campaign's out there doing. You are emphasizing the importance of young people and their role in democracy. And we looked at a Tufts University analysis, and Tennessee actually had the lowest turnout of young people in the nation for last year's midterms. So what exactly is your plan to flip those numbers around?
You know, well, Tennessee has been famous, unfortunately, for low voter turnout. And what we are seeing is so much energy and a movement that has just been created and really built upon this year. We are building a coalition of young people. Gen Z has been activated in Tennessee since the incident with Tennessee 3 and the expulsion attempts and expulsions. We have seen young people get involved, stay involved all over the summer. They talk to their representatives. They showed up in different counties and had rallies and are just so active. We have a coalition now that includes Gen Z. It's a coalition of young people. It's a coalition of senior citizens who don't want to pay more for their prescriptions. You know, Marsha Blackburn wants to keep prescription prices high, especially for seniors. And that's just not something that Tennessee is going to stand for. So we are building this multiracial, multi-generational, and quite frankly, multi-partisan coalition because many Republicans are coming over and saying they just don't see her helping Tennessee.
So, State Representative Johnson, you make a very interesting point. But you're also running in a presidential election year. And the reality is that every Democratic presidential nominee has lost by double digits in Tennessee since 2004. So describe to me then the type of voter who cast a ballot for the Republican nominee over President Biden, but votes for Gloria Johnson over incumbent Republican Marsha Blackburn.
Well, I can tell you that in all of my districts in my state house race, I overperform the president every time. And it has to do with talking to people, listening to people. Folks out there know even if we disagree, they're going to be able to have a conversation with me. I'm going to listen to what they have to say, and I will be someone that is working for the people. I am not going to be working for big pharma and insurance companies and the NRA. Not going to happen. I'm not taking monies from organizations like that or corporate donors. We need somebody in Tennessee who's fighting for hardworking Tennessee families and not someone that's working for the special interest in billionaires.
You know, some people would call what has been happening in your state's legislature Republican power plays. I would call it anti-democratic measures, and they have absolutely been the subject of national news. If you are elected to a majority Republican Senate, how will your time in the state legislature have prepared you for being effective in the minority? Because the Senate is also on the ballot in 2024.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, it's tough to get something done in Tennessee as a Democrat. But a lot of time what we're doing is delaying and amending and killing bad legislation. But, you know, with a closer margin and federal Congress, is there a lot more ability to get things done. But the reality is, we have a senator who's doing nothing for everyday Tennessee families. She's tweeting about Portland, Oregon, and ignoring Portland, Tennessee. And people are tired of that.
Tennessee State Representative and Senate candidate Gloria Johnson, thank you for your time this afternoon.